EHang 184 AAV. The personal drone of the Chinese company EHang may one day become a single-seat flying taxi. The autonomous helicopter EHang 184 was presented at the International Exhibition CES 2016. Manufacturers claim that this flying vehicle is absolutely safe for traveling medium distances at low altitudes. The EHang 184 is equipped with 8 beams, each of which has 2 propellers. The drone can fly 15 kilometers with one charge and also accelerate to 130 kilometers per hour. Presumably, the vehicle will be completely self-sufficient. The pilot will only need to specify the endpoint of the route, and the manual mode will only be used in case of emergency. It is worth noting that the EHang 184 is designed for a passenger weighing no more than 100 kilograms. The device itself is made of composite materials and aluminium, and the weight of the drone is approximately 200 kilograms. This personal helicopter can move at an altitude of 300 to 3,500 meters, and it takes 2 to 4 hours to charge. Lambo Taxi. The Lamborghini Diablo and Gallardo, painted in the traditional black and yellow color of taxis, were seen in the streets of Barcelona in 2016. The Diablo was driven by the famous athlete and businessman Joseph Ajram, and behind the wheel of the Gallardo was the founder of the Black and Rad production company and communications agency, Sebas Romero. The marketing campaign was organized by the GoPro USA brand. Despite the high cost of the cars, for those who took advantage of the elite taxi services, the trip was completely free. However, if the Lamborghini cars were actually used by taxi drivers, imagine how long they'd have to work to cover the costs of the car. Venice Water Taxi. Since Venice is on the water, one of the most common forms of transport in the city are water taxis. The taxi service of this unusual city consists of about 100 boats, which operate 24 hours a day. The travel time through Venice is about 10 minutes. During this time, you can reach any place in the city by water. It is worth noting that, depending on the amount of money the client has, either a public boat or a separate luxury vessel can be offered. You can order a taxi by phone or online at the official website of the Venice Taxi Service. Coco Taxi. In the capital of Cuba, Havana, you can see an unusual vehicle called a Coco Taxi. This small form of transport resembles a coconut and is designed for 3 people, including the driver. The Coco Taxi is mainly used by tourists, so the trip is more expensive than a conventional taxi. In addition, this vehicle is only suitable for simple trips over short distances, for example for city tours. As the Coco Taxi travels at a very slow speed, tourists have the opportunity to inspect the sights without leaving the yellow cab. Quora. In March 2018, the US company Kitty Hawk, funded by Google co-founder Larry Page, began flight testing of Quora, its unmanned aerial taxi, which in the future will be used for passenger transport in New Zealand. The electric air taxi is assembled according to the scheme of a two-beam aircraft with a low wing position. The main beams are equipped with electric motors, which lead to small load propellers. In each of the main beams there are two main rotors, and another electric motor is connected at the rear. Thanks to its structure, the unmanned taxi can perform vertical takeoffs and landings, which can be useful in urban areas or when it's necessary to land on the roof of a building. Quora is capable of carrying two passengers at a speed of 150 to 180 km per hour, at an altitude of 150 meters to 900 meters. The travel distance without recharging is 100 kilometers. In case of emergency, the flying taxi is equipped with a parachute, which will allow landing even if the propellers are completely disconnected. Uber's self-driving car. On September 14, 2016, Uber launched a series of unmanned vehicles in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. 14 Ford Fusions were used for the tests, each equipped with 20 surveillance cameras and a LiDAR, a device that allows reading what's happening around the car. Although there was an Uber driver in every vehicle to control the situation, this experiment can be considered the first successful case of implementing an unmanned taxi in the world. Autonomous air taxi. Another unmanned flying taxi was tested in Dubai. The electric drone, developed in conjunction with German manufacturer Volocopter, is expected to carry up to 2 passengers. The flight time of the multicopter is limited to 30 minutes. The drone battery requires a recharge every 40 minutes. It takes 2 hours to fully charge the batteries. However, it is planned that this time will be significantly reduced before mass production of the device begins. The maximum speed of the unmanned taxis is 100 km per hour, and the average speed is 50 km per hour. The car flies thanks to 18 fixed propellers in its perimeter, each of which runs on an electric motor. It's also worth noting that the development of the UAV is included in the government's development program for Dubai. Sea Bubbles. The French company Sea Bubbles has developed a hybrid between a boat and an electric car. The ship is equipped with 2 electric motors, 4 inclined supports, and a kind of wing, which develops the lifting force at a certain speed, and the ship starts to rise above the water. The first project has a capacity for 4 people, but there are also plans to build boats with a capacity of 10 to 12 people. Its maximum speed is 25 km per hour, enough for Sea Bubbles to travel without recharging for 3 hours. In addition, all parameters are monitored by the electronic system. Developers hope by 2050 to form a network of electric water taxis in 50 cities around the world. They're now working on a mobile application similar to the Uber online service. Guys, it's time to recharge your brain. Visit the channel Brain Time. There you'll find a lot of interesting and useful facts, lots of positive energy, and tons of useful information. Subscribe right now. We promise it's going to be really exciting.